Welcome to the Enlisted Archive. Today, we have a mysterious yet arguably overused weapon to show off. For the Western Allies faction on Battle Rating 5, you can expect to see and use the submachine gun / rifle hybrid known as the Hyde Model 1944. To keep the naming consistent from its origin point, the true name is Hyde Carbine Model 1944. George Hyde, the inventor of this weapon, is an odd fellow. For starters, this gun is chambered in .30 caliber with a magazine size of 20 or 30 rounds. Enlisted uses the 30 round magazine. That is not bad, especially so with its clean aperture sights and minimum recoil patterns. The only issue with this is that the Hyde 44 was not an honorable design. For starters, it never went into production past its prototype phase between the late stages of World War II. The following time frame could be skewed, so take this with a grain of salt. The period of March 17 to May 8, 1944 is alleged to be the creation time of this prototype carbine. The only sources of the Hyde 44 existence is by photographic evidence from the Aberdeen Proving Ground, a private collector and United States Army facility located in Aberdeen, Maryland. Another irksome design is using a quick change barrel mechanism stolen from the Germany's MG42. This baffles me for its purpose. The caliber it fires does not warrant this barrel, the magazine size could never overheat the platform, even the rate of fire, from what Enlisted gives as 800, seems to be on the lower side for a quick change barrel mechanism. Let's say, for example, what if the Hyde had a 7.92 by 33 round, and it fired from a closed boat with a lever-delayed blowback system? Would it have beaten the Thompson or Grace gun in a war? Perhaps, maybe, but we'll never know. Maybe this was supposed to be a weapon to share common grounds with the M2 carbine. It would definitely be lighter than a Browning automatic rifle, but yet it did not make it out of the prototype stages. It was made near the end of the war, which could have been the catalyst for why it never took off. The skeletal frame of the Hyde 44 seems to be a sheet-metaled version of the Thompson M1A1, so perhaps it was simply a passing experiment. However, when Enlisted, it's everywhere in Battle Rating 5. Your other option is the Thompson platforms. Is the 50-round 1928A1 better than the Hyde 44? No, not really in my opinion. The speed of reload and the way you control the Hyde is miles better than any of the late-tier Thompsons, which is why if you play with or against the Western Allies, you will see the Hyde 44 consistently. For Enlisted, it could be argued that this weapon is America's reaction to the Sturmgewehr 44, a platform that also had a select fire capability and a high round per minute threshold. And that's where the similarities end, to be honest. The STG-44 fires a drastically different round than a .30 cal, and they perform almost identical to the point where it could be the rival between the weapons, but they're different enough where it doesn't matter in a way. And with that, we come to a close. The Hyde Carbine Model 1944 is something that did exist at one point, but had no momentum to push past its experimental phase. Its proclivity of stealing the MG42's quick change barrel mechanism and converting 45 ACP to use .30 caliber on a Thompson frame does speak volumes on how good the late George Hyde was on in the middle half of 1944. Do you use this weapon if you play Enlisted? Why so? If you have any ideas for what the next voiceover weapon review should be, leave them down in the comments below. And until then, this has been the Enlisted Archive. Sayonara.